Hey Al, a very good morning from my end. Welcome to a new video again. We're picking up the pace of publishing new valuable videos because it's one of our main goals for the remainder of this month and essentially for the entire quarter. So for today, recurring revenue for your development business. It is something that I think I would almost want to say 99% of the people that I speak to, it's a goal for them, whether it be right now or on the long term. And I get the goal because recurring revenue is probably the best thing that you can have. And yeah, it will help you a lot. Before we dive in, if you don't know who I am, you probably know by now based on the channel, if you've seen multiple videos from me at least, but my name is Sven, I'm the co-founder of Blinked, and together with the team, we essentially help software development businesses to grow their bottom line, grow their business, become more profitable, book more leads, book more calls, close more deals, whatever you want to call it. We define it as business growth, essentially. So yeah, if you want more info on that, have a look at my LinkedIn, YouTube channel, website, whatever. There's loads of information out there on what we do and the results that we've gotten for clients. So diving into the actual video. Yeah, like I mentioned, recurring revenue, it will allow you to do loads of good stuff. It will get you a higher business valuation because if revenue is recurring, it's less reliant on you. It will get you more stability because you have your fixed recurring stuff to cover all of your costs, which is a very good place to be in. And it's just something that will deliver less stress, essentially, if you know that every month you hit all of you are able to cover your personnel, your own income, whatever, everything that you want to cover with the recurring revenue that you have. That's of course a very good place to be in, and it will allow you to sort of free up your mind on thinking, hey, how do I want to expand the business further? Do I want to build a second offer? How do I go from here, essentially, instead of chasing new revenue every month just to pay your bills, essentially. And recurring or generating that recurring revenue, it was one of the main goals for Index, one of our clients. And yeah, our work is to crush our partners' goals. So this was something after we've sort of gone through the initial phase of your go-to-market, booking calls, etc., figuring out, hey, what does the market need? We started looking at how can we transform products you guys have already built, or how can we define a need within the market to then go generate that recurring revenue and then build a product that is able to get recurring revenue, essentially. So what we did is, and let me quickly zoom out a little because I don't exactly, yeah, this was the one I needed. So sort of the entire process that we went through, overarching the three main things were: one, how we uncovered a problem in the market, how did we validate that there is recurring revenue to be earned, and how we're planning on scaling this product. So what essentially happened is Index does custom software development, as a lot of our clients, and we started with marketing that. So we went through our usual, and I'm not going to go in detail onto that, but we went through our usual process of go-to-market, value prop, case studies, etc. And from there, we launched a campaign strategy, essentially. We started booking discoveries, and from there, we booked a discovery with a company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company as well, so a very good prospect to speak to on the first. From there, Rick, that's the founder or one of the founders of Index, he started to talking to those people, defining their needs. And that is something that, within there, it's just hey, what is your pain point? Do you have pain? Where do you want to go? Can you go there with your current systems, etc.? Overall, just discovering what they want to do, where they want to get to, and what would be preventing them from actually getting there. Later on, he defined that there was a need. He converted it to a sales call. We helped him do the pre-warming of a call, so making sure that they see proper pre-call videos, that they see value assets, that they see that you build up as much contact time as possible with those people without actually speaking to them, because of course you want people to get on that call as warm as possible, or potentially disqualify, but that usually happens before the discovery call because you've already spoken to those people. Converted them into a sales call, and I'm not going to take you through the entire process, but then he closed them, blah, blah, blah. We helped him with setting up the sales deck, etc. And he essentially sort of started with a custom software development build for this client. So what they then did is they transferred into sort of the phase one stage and phase one process of this build. and they started building out their MVP with the client. So they really actively engaged the client in building that MVP, and it wasn't really a thing of, hey, we see you as a vendor and we give you money, you give us a product. They were really engaged with each other to create the best product as possible, which is something that we always encourage and something that you hopefully do instead of just taking on their wishes. Actually like dig deep with them. What is the right product that you need to build? Then they did the full build, and this is really high level, of course. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they did the full build for this client, and then they did an evaluation, or like from there, together with them, we started like defining, hey, what is the stuff that you guys have already built up until now? What products did you develop? And we started to do an evaluation of, okay, what might make sense to turn into a recurring revenue machine, and essentially what makes sense to turn into a sort of like SaaS product on its own. This was one of those products. What we then did, instead of, because that's a mistake that a lot of people make, they want recurring revenue and they start building a SaaS product and then try to market it without knowing if there's a market to, essentially. And we have a very like clear process in how do you do that, and how do you prevent that you want to sell before you build and not build before you sell, because you are just going to waste a shit ton of time and resources if you do it that way. So we did interviews, and like Rick is a very big fan of those interviews because, one, he does them really well, he converts them at a high scale, and it enabled him to get a shitload of information and to speak to people that you probably wouldn't speak to with like a normal cold email strategy. So he spoke to like C-level executives and high-level directors at companies with hundreds or thousands of employees, and that allowed him to gather all of the information, and we helped him with we got him around the table with those clients. We set up the script on the information that he needed to collect, etc. We gave him all the stuff that he needed to collect that information essentially and collect those insights. So from there he did the interviews and he started defining, do they have the same needs as this company, and do they have the same goals, do they have the same struggles, etc., and are they in need of the tool that we have built for this specific client, essentially. That got to a yes, and what we then started doing after those interviews is, so you do the interviews here, you collect all of that information, that's just like speaking to people. From there on, we basically got to the conclusion that it's a yes, they are in need of that product. And then we started building a one-pager, so a value asset around that product. So just, a value asset is something like this, like I deliver value in this, giving you insights into how we did stuff for a specific client, giving you insights into how you can sort of analyze your current products and see like, hey, is there potential in one of the things that we've built? So we built a one-pager around the product, and essentially also included the outcomes of the interview. So you can include stuff like, hey, why are successful businesses successful on this area of business? Why are non-successful businesses unsuccessful in this area? Give them essentially a look behind the scenes for like other companies in the industry, and include the stuff that you solve, etc. This was the sort of level 2 validation, and the thing that we re-engage those conversations with. So you have the interview, you hop off the interview, we've built that one pager, and then you re-engage them, the people that you spoke to earlier. You can send them the one pager, or you can book in a call to run through that one pager on a call. And that was the sort of level 2 validation of the first one was the interview, and then you had the one pager where you could collect feedback on the one pager by either shooting a video, going over it, sharing it, doing it on a call or whatever. And based on the feedback that you get on the way that you share it, you can again see like, hey, if a lot of people reply positively to this one pager and are like, I want to know more, can you book us in for a call or whatever, this sounds interesting, then it is another layer of like confirmation on, hey, this is something that people actually need. And then from there on, you can sort of start doing more market research and do your definement and do a new round of interviews, more specific on, hey, what is it that you exactly found? What is the stuff that you really need to build into the product? What is the stuff that and that could be with the same people or with another like sort of interview round, because what you want to do here is actually define, is there a need, are there pain points, etc. And what you want to do here is, hey, how are we going to build a product that solves those things essentially. And what you can also do is do further market research. So for this specific example, this was for the automotive industry, and what we then started to do is defining like, hey, what other markets can we potentially sell into that do the same activities as they are doing in the automotive industry, but then for a different industry. So we started defining those markets and then doing another round of interviews where you, one, collect that information for, hey, what do I need to build into the product? And two, start defining like, so one of the markets that we defined was the construction industry because they do similar activities. I can't go into the details of the product itself, but yeah, we just defined a new market, did another round of interviews, and like spot check if there are opportunities that don't force you to build an entirely new product, but force you to sort of look like, hey, where can I take this product into? And essentially, with minor tweaks, create a product that is suitable for multiple different industries. And of course, a product that solves the same create a product that solves the same problems. That's what I was looking for. And from there, yeah, it's essentially sort of, this is your scaling. Like you start to make sure that you dial in on your niche and fix their stuff first before you start expanding. But yeah, if there's stuff that you can sell into later on, then of course you should do that. So that's it for this video. I think that covers like the main thing on, hey, how do you look for, I think the major thing, the most important thing to do here is that sell before you build and checking if there is a need for the product that you have, because otherwise you're just going to waste a lot of time. And you've maybe done that in the past, like, oh my God, this is such a good idea, we're going to build this into a product, and then try to sell it. That will probably fail because yeah, you need that validation on the fact that one company needs it. That's not a given for then all of the other companies in the industry needing that product. So that's why it's very important to spot check that. All right, that's it. If you find this interesting, leave a like, leave a comment, share some questions or whatever. Happy to dive into this further. And otherwise, I will see you in my next video.